Global War 36 enthusiast here with Operation A View to a Kill, AVtaK, turn 11.2 CCP and 11.3 USSR. It is July of 1941. CCP is just going to save its money. I'll do a recruitment roll at the end of Russia's turn when I do my Spanish Republican recruitment roll. I thought it was really funny when Hambone called the CCP a weed, and the weed persists, tenacious. One bit of housekeeping is Panzer J wanted to fly 2 airborne infantry during non-combat movement with a heavy air transport. And that intuitively makes sense because you can use a heavy air transport to combat move 2 airborne infantry. So you would think that they would be able to non-combat move those 2 airborne infantry. But during playtesting, the incredible mobility and utility of using heavy air transports to move around those 2 units during non-combat proved to be overpowered. So they're limited to only moving 1 infantry or artillery class during non-combat movement. We did allow Panzer J to change his turn and add a combat movement of that heavy air transport carrying the 2 elite airborne infantry to airborne assault Lubelski and conduct it there, so that essentially the 2 airborne did get moved. But I just want to make it clear that this isn't establishing the precedent that you can add combat moves after combat rolls have started. It's just this was a quirky rule that's easy to miss. So we're just having a nice gesture to Panzer J to let him do that. Okay. And one other thing I want to keep track of is the economics of the Japanese war of aggression in Siberia. Boston Bruce has suffered 6 IPP in unit losses, and he's gained 4 IPP. I lost 2 IPP in units lost with that militia that was killed. So at the start of my turn, we're even so far in the Siberian struggle. I'll likely be down 3 IPP at the end of the turn for not collecting a Mur and Primorsky Cry. Okay, on to 11.3 USSR. USSR has 5 tech rolls, counting 1 from rapid industrialization. I think this is the last turn I'm going to have 5 tech rolls. First, I tried for advanced mechanized infantry at a 7 or higher. PB generated a 12, so I succeeded, and I have my first tech. Both Germany and the Soviet Union developed advanced mechanized infantry on the same turn, even though I started way later than Panzer J. So I got lucky there, and he got very unlucky. But not as unlucky as I've been with improved factories. I tried for improved factories at a 7 or higher. PB generated a 7, and so I do advance to stage 2, even though I've been trying every single turn. So only at stage 2 on that one. Third, I tried for improved construction at a 7 or higher. PB generated a 9, so I do advance to stage 3 on improved construction. Fourth, I tried for jet fighters at an 8 or higher. PBE generated a 3, so I failed. And fifth, I tried for strategic rockets at a 9 or higher. PBE generated a 2, so I failed. Purchases. This is my big buy. So let's talk about this. Why didn't I buy last turn when I had 128? I don't have the factory capacity, especially not with missing improved factories. I don't have the factory capacity for that to make sense for me to save another turn. So there's really only one reason, and that's massive, massive amounts of militia. Militia for Russia, if you're fighting in home country, it's the best unit in the game for the cost if you can buy it for 1. So the reason why is Panzer J just spent 24 last turn on 4 medium armor. So coming into combat, he's going to bring 24 combat factors, 6 for each of those 4. And it costs him 24, so that's 1 for 1. I can, by saving that extra turn, I can get 21 more militia than I would have otherwise. I'm going to be buying 54 militia. So maybe I would have bought 35 militia or 33 militia. But since I waited another turn, I'm going to buy 54 militia. And the 24 extra or 21 extra militia, let's just imagine 24 extra militia to make it equivalent to the 4 medium armor, is equivalent to 24 combat factors on the attack and 48 combat factors on the defense. If I'm defending in a city, not only would I have that, I'd have 36 combat factors if the city isn't surrounded, and I'd have 24 rolls at 1 for target select versus vehicles. I mean, that is just very, very, very helpful. I don't recommend other people doing this normally with Russia. This Russian game is existential, where France put 45 or whatever it was, 45 IPP off the table in defending France and saved those units. And Russia has had bad luck as far as improved factories, and the rolls one or the roll on turn 2 and turn 6 were a 2 and a 1 respectively for income increases. So this is kind of the worst case scenario for Russia, where you know you're not going to win. You're just going to try to bleed the Axis as much as possible. That's why I want to keep track of what goes on in Siberia. I won't be able to have these militia leave home country, so I can only fight the Axis in home country. But if you are fighting in home country, this is the way to go. Massive amounts of militia. But this is not a game-winning strategy, because I can't take these units outside home country. So this will be a fun game to watch, I think, but not a good game to emulate. Sorry to waste so much time. Let's get started. So purchases, I have 149 IPP to spend. I will purchase 54 militia, 44 infantry. That's 88. So that brings me up to 142. Plus, I need some punching power. You need some offensive units. So I'm going to get an airborne infantry for 2, brings me up to 144. And then I'll begin construction of a fortification in Moscow for 5. That's 149. All right, combat movement. First, we'll do some combat here in Mongolia. I am going to, from Chita, I'm going to move 3 infantry into central Mongolia, crossing a mountain border. So the first round, they'll be at -1. And from Kobdo, I'm going to do an interesting move with my cavalry. I'm going to move first to Uliassutai, and then into central Mongolia, therefore bypassing the mountain border. So the cavalry would be at 3. That will be my combat over there. And then I'm going to have combat here in southern Belarusia. From Orel-Kursk, I'm going to bring a cavalry up to southern Belarusia. And from Leningrad, I'm going to bring a fighter and a tactical bomber. Then at sea, in Sea Zone I-12, I'm going to have 1 submarine move up to Sea Zone I-13. Yeah, okay, 1 sub come up to I-13 to conduct convoy raiding. And then over in Sea Zone A3, that is way up there. There's a coastal sub. Where is my coastal sub? It's not on camera. There it is. In A3, that coastal sub will move over to A5 and conduct convoy raiding. All right, those are my 4 combats. So let's roll some dice. Let's do the convoy raids first. I think that's on camera pretty well. Okay, so we've got the red die is the attacker, the white die is the defender. Let's do the coastal sub. He does have radar, correct? Let's see. No, he does not. So I have a +1 with my coastal sub convoy raiding up there in A5. But it's a push, no damage. All right, then let's do the convoy rating in C-Zone A13. I have a +2. Okay, that's max damage. So I do 3 points of damage to the Germans in A13. That drops them down to 62 by my count. All right. Now we'll do the combat there in southern Belarusia. Why don't I just do the fighter at 6 and the tactical bomber at 7. Oh, jeez. Okay, I've got the cavalry at 3. Oh my goodness, who would have thought that was the way it would go? And he has 1 at 1. He's got his light armor at 1. Holy well, I thought, oh, I don't need to bring more than that. So, okay, he maintains southern Belarusia. And then I've got a combat in, is that Central Mongolia? Yes, Central Mongolia. So I've got the 3 infantry attacking at 1. Miss. And then I've got 1 cavalry attacking at 3. Miss. He has 1 infantry defending at 4. Miss. I have 1 at 3, but now I'm going to have 3 at 2. Well, okay, my cavalry hit. Here's his 1 at 4. Miss. Okay, so I didn't do well in southern Belarusia, but I did take back Central Mongolia. Let's get a rondel for that. And that brings the Russians, the Soviets, up 1 to 43, and the Japanese drop down 1 to 52. Okie dokie. Let's see. I think that's all my combat movement. Now I've got non-combat movement. Swing over here, get this stuff on camera. We'll start over here in Novosibirsk. I'm going to strategic rail that militia and infantry down to Crimea. Let's chip that out. I'm not going to do a disposition at the end of this turn, so I hope that I'm making things clear about what is where. Okay, next, from Kaluga Oblast, 2 infantry are going to move to Orel-Kursk. From Smolensk, 2 infantry, 2 motorized infantry will move to Orel-Kursk. From eastern Ukraine, 2 infantry will move to Orel-Kursk. Let's chip out the motorized. So I've got 2 cavalry, 5 motorized, 2 light armor, and 3 anti-aircraft artillery. And then, let's see, how many infantry is that? 9. 9 infantry. All right. Is that all of my non-combat movement? Did I land my planes? No. The fighter and the tactical bomber from southern Belarusia, they're going to come down to Orel-Kursk. And I'm going to bring an air transport from Leningrad down to Orel-Kursk. So the only aircraft in Leningrad is 1 fighter. All right. Now, placement of units. Okay. Let's kind of go up north here a little bit. I don't think anyone's going to have enough militia for all of this. I certainly didn't. Okay, 2 militia in Karelia. 1 militia in northern Russia. 1 militia in Zurienia. 1 militia in AVtaK. 2 militia and 5 infantry in Leningrad. That will put Leningrad up to 3 militia and 13 infantry, plus the 3 AA and fighter. Okay. 1 militia in Western Russia. 1 militia in Yaroslavl. 1 militia in Kaluga Oblast. So in Kaluga Oblast, I only have 1 militia. 4 militia and 5 infantry in Moscow. 1 militia in Gorky. 1 militia in Ural. 1 militia in Sibir. Is that on camera, Sibir? Not quite. There we go. Oh, and I didn't have... Oh, I don't even have... There we go. Okay, now everything's on camera. Great. 2 militia, 7 infantry in Orel-Kursk. We had 9 infantry there. We're adding 7. That brings us up to 16 infantry. And the 2 militia. Okay. 1 militia in Tula-Lipetsk. 3 militia in Saratov. 1 militia in Orenburg. 1 militia in Tobolsk. 1 militia in Donetsk-Kubin. 1 militia, 5 infantry in Stalingrad. 1 militia in Crimea. So that puts me up to 2 militia there in Crimea. So Crimea has 2 militia, 2 infantry. One militia in Kalmitskaya. Let me double check if these are on camera. That one is, but now we're getting a little bit lower, so we need to move over. 1 militia in Western Kazakhstan. 1 militia in Central Kazakhstan. 1 militia in Eastern Kazakhstan. 3 militia in North Caucasia. 1 militia in Turkmenistan. No, I'm sorry, that's Turkestan. 5 militia in Transcaucasia. 1 militia in Turkmenistan. Okay, yeah, I just skipped ahead a couple. All right. Now I think we need to move over to Novosibirsk. Okay. 3 militia, 1 infantry in Novosibirsk. 1 militia in eastern Yakutia. Not sure if that's on camera. Is that way? It's way up there in northern Siberia. Oh, it is. Great. Okay. 1 militia in Chukotka. Where is Chukotka? It must be here. 1 militia in southern Yakutia. Southern Yakutia. Okay. 1 militia in Irkutsk. When I have a blank chip with nothing on it, it's just a militia. 1 militia in Magdan. 1 militia in Kamchatka. 1 militia in Buryatia. 1 militia in Chita. Okay. I think, let me double check. Did I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? 1, 2, oh, in Siberia I put 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I feel like I missed one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am so sorry. Yakutsk has one right here. So that's one I missed. Nine. Okay, great. There we go. It was Yakutsk that I was missing. So I put 9 in Siberia to fight you over there, Bruce. Okay. Due to insufficient factory capacity, I only placed 23 of my 44 infantry. So there are 21 infantry, Russian infantry, in the place units box. And there is 1 airborne infantry in the place units box. And then I'll begin that construction of the fortification in Moscow. And that will complete my place units phase. Collect income. I'm at 43, plus I do get the American Lend-Lease this turn, unless Hambone would like to deny that. So that puts me up to 48. I collect 48 with the Soviet Union. Okay. And then the CCP has the 3 that they have just been hoarding for a rainy day. So I do have some recruitment rolls. Oh, I did the recruitment roll for Panzer J with the Spanish nationalists, and he did succeed. I think he rolled a 4, but I have the Spanish nationalists with 8 infantry. Panzer J, if I got that wrong, let me know. I don't even know if for sure you wanted to place an infantry. I'm assuming you did, but you let me know what you want to place there. So I have 2 recruitment rolls. I've got the Weed gets 1 shot at 1, and then I've got the Spanish Republicans at a 5. So I fail with both. The CCP rolled an 8, and the Spanish Republicans rolled a 6. Next up is Boston Bruce with turn 11.4, Japan.